Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Good evening. Welcome back, dear friends. So good to see you all again. Welcome. So this is the 6 p.m. Prayer for Peace program, and I'm so happy that you could all join this evening, and a big hello and hug to you that may be listening to this on demand later. Today, as usual, before our prayer, we have a short message, and this message comes to us today by the Spirit Brother Joseph, psychographed through the medium Carlos Baccelli, and it's coming out of the book Watch and Pray. It's page 133. If you happen to have the book, it is not translated into English yet. So this is, it is entitled Vibrational Frequency. And this is what we learn from the Spirit, Brother Joseph. All things and all beings live interconnected. Every action has repercussions. No act is isolated in its consequences. We live in a tangle of ideas and feelings. Good expands in waves that cover immense distances. Evil propagates with the same intensity with which it is practiced. What happens elsewhere reaches you where you are. If you become a focus of light, you will extinguish the shadow around you. The reflection of everything that hits you matches the nature of your feelings. Those who do not offer attunement to evil do not enter the vibratory frequency of disharmony. That is definitely one to listen to again. It has a lot in it and says a great deal, many lessons here. Just from the get-go, it starts out with all things and beings live interconnected. And it's so interesting because Kardec tells us this. Well, it's the spirits, but he codifies it in the books. In the gospel, there's two places. And actually, I've written this down. So chapter 11, and it's item 10, and then again in chapter 27, item 6, and that's in the gospel, according to Spiritism. And then in the Spirits book, it's question 540, 573, 604, and 607. They respond and remind us that everything is interconnected. So, and here's Brother Joseph, the Spirit, Brother Joseph, giving us the same message. All things and all beings live interconnected. And we should remember the title of this message is Vibrational Frequency. So he tells us every action has repercussions. No act is isolated in its consequences. So he's telling us, reminding us that on earth, we are subject to the law of cause and effect. So the idea that we're going to do something and get away with it, or it's not going to matter, it's not going to count, or it was only a little, or so on and so forth. No, there's a consequence. There is a action and reaction, cause and effect. He says, because we live in a tangle of ideas and feelings. So good expands in waves that cover immense distances. Evil propagates with the same intensity with which it is practiced. So here we see kind of the law of duality and good and bad. You know, the sun shines on all of us. It doesn't just shine on the good people. And, you know, this idea that what happens elsewhere reaches you where you are. So the idea that what Emmanuel told us, thought is life. So these thoughts, these actions, they're what we remit, what we admit. We bring back to us what we emit. So any thought, and remember, it begins with the thought, but actions they're going to have like a ripple effect. They manifest. They create energy, a vibrational frequency, and it's put out there. And so he says the reflection of everything that hits you matches the nature of your feelings. So it's true, things are not happening by chance, and we are responsible for what we kind of put out there, because that is what's coming back to us, and then we shouldn't be surprised or complain, right? And I love this where he says, what happens elsewhere reaches you where you are. So this reminds us that even though these wars are not happening in our town, they're not happening in our country, they're not even happening on our continent. Yes, there are wars all over the place, and they're of all different types. But this ongoing war in the Middle East and in Ukraine and elsewhere, that they do have an effect on us. To think that, it's over there, it doesn't really matter to me. No, we are affected as well. And how does it, perhaps it doesn't, we're not having war in our country, but we are having our own craziness. And so those vibrations have an effect. So I think this is interesting too. He ends it by saying, those who do not offer attunement to evil do not enter the vibratory frequency of disharmony. So the key is, how do we not offer? And Kardec brings it to us from the spirits in the spirit book on question 893, where part of the answer is virtue, which is voluntary resistance to the allure of immoral tendencies. So as we practice virtue, we kind of set up our own safety net, and we're not able to, so therefore we kind of put ourselves out of resonance with those vibrations of immoral activity, which, remember, it's beginning in the thought. And so this law of resonance, so the law of attraction, and this, again, we bring it back to the title, vibrational frequency. So as we practice virtues, we kind of do not make ourselves available for the lower vibrations frequencies. So, wow, what a message. It's really packed full with all kinds of lessons, and for us to better understand the universal laws. And the bottom line is to practice the universal laws, to put ourselves in harmony with divine law. So I invite you now to join me in a prayer for peace. If you can safely close your eyes, please do so. It helps to lessen distraction. And we bring ourselves to this prayer on bent knees. In recognition of your immense greatness and our great need for you. We thank you for this divine light that we carry within. And may we become like beacons of light for others. Beacons of light for each other in our times of stress, difficulties. Remembering that we are all interconnected. And therefore, coming to understand better Jesus's message of when delivering our gifts to the altar, if we should be aware of any offense with our brother, sister, to go and resolve that first before delivering our gifts to the altar. Recognizing that this is the true charity. Our duty to one another. And let us begin to help those on the other side of the world, even if we can't financially, materially. Let us begin with our thoughts of love, our thoughts of positivity, of forgiveness, that we may be a part of the solution to peace in the world. And we pray for all the misunderstandings, the hatred, the bigotry, the deep level of poisonous revenge. We pray for your blessings in helping us to liberate ourselves from the shackles that bind us to one another. And in closing, we say thank you for your ongoing guidance, inspiration, and protection of this platform, Kardec Radio, that we may continue to nourish our souls and to continue our studies to better understand ourselves as humans, as spirit, as children of yours. And we humbly ask permission to close this prayer session, and so be it. Thank you so much, my friends, for joining me, and I hope we will meet again next week, same time, same station, where we can again pray and learn from the beautiful messages that these various spirits bring to us through these dedicated mediums who continue to practice sharing their talents with all of us and are dedicated workers. Thank you so much. Many blessings, and let's remember to go forward this week and help somebody else, even if it is only in our thought. Let us do our part. Thank you so much.